Welcome to Dark Love Psychology. Most people believe that love is the strongest force in a relationship. We're taught that giving more, doing more, and showing more affection will make someone stay forever. But what if that's not the whole truth? What if the secret to a lasting, passionate connection lies not in what you give, but in what you might take away? Psychology says one of the most powerful motivators in human behavior isn't the joy of gaining love, it's the paralyzing fear of losing it. This is a fundamental part of our wiring, a survival instinct left over from a time when loss could mean death. And in modern relationships, this principle explains why the quiet, dignified threat of walking away often has more impact than years of unwavering devotion. In this video, we'll explore why loss aversion is wired deep into the human brain, how it shapes attraction and attachment, and how you can use it, ethically and intelligently, to build deeper respect, desire, and commitment. Chapter 1. The Psychology of Loss Aversion. In psychology, loss aversion is the groundbreaking idea from Nobel laureates Kahneman and Tversky that humans are roughly twice as motivated to avoid losing something as they are to gain something of equal value. Think about it. The pain of losing $100 feels far more intense than the fleeting happiness of finding $100. This principle doesn't just apply to money. It's a core driver in love, attention, and relationships. People often fail to appreciate what they have until it's at risk. The fear of losing what they've grown accustomed to activates deep emotional survival instincts, shifting their brain from a state of comfort to a state of high alert. This threat response is far more powerful than the gentle warmth of affection ever could be. Imagine a partner who's always available, always forgiving, always chasing. Their love becomes predictable, like background noise, and over time it's subconsciously devalued. But the moment they pull away, create distance, or hint they might leave, panic sets in. Suddenly their presence, their texts, their laugh, every small thing that was taken for granted, feels precious and irreplaceable. Chapter 2. Why Scarcity Raises Value. Humans are hardwired to value scarcity more than abundance. It's why diamonds are more precious than stones, and why a limited edition sneaker is more desirable than a mass-produced one. Our brains use availability as a mental shortcut for worth. If something is rare or hard to get, we assume it must be valuable. The exact same psychology applies to people in relationships. If someone believes you'll always be there no matter what, that your time and attention are endlessly available, they subconsciously lower your value. You become common, but if they sense that your time is limited, that you have a full life outside of them, and that you could be lost, they are forced to reevaluate your worth. Think about a breakup. It's a cliche for a reason. Someone often only realizes how much they love their partner the relationship ends. That's scarcity psychology in its rawest form. The sudden, total loss of access makes what was once normal seem extraordinarily special and irreplaceable. Chapter 3. The Subtle Power of Walking Away. You don't have to actually leave to activate the fear of loss. You only need to demonstrate that this isn't about ultimatums or dramatic exits. It's about cultivating an inner strength that communicates your self-worth doesn't depend on any one person. The simple, quiet ability to walk away from a situation that devalues you creates a profound shift in power. It signals that you have high standards and that your presence is a choice, not a necessity. This subtle shift often reignites their desire, respect, and effort more effectively than any argument could. Consider two partners. One begs for attention, fears rejection, and constantly forgives disrespect. The other calmly says, "I want this to work, but I won't stay in a situation where I'm not respected." The second partner immediately commands more value. They haven't made a threat, they've made a statement of fact. They've shown they have the strength to leave, transforming the dynamic from chaser and chased to two equals who must earn each other's presence. Chapter 4. Absence Creates Craving. Our brains are wired to notice change, not constancy. If you're always there, texting, calling, initiating plans, giving reassurance, the brain adapts and stops appreciating it. It becomes expected, but when that constant presence is suddenly reduced, it creates a powerful emotional contrast. This is what creates a void. That void is what makes your absence feel painful, and it's why the person who once took you for granted now feels anxious, their mind replaying your last conversation, wondering what you're doing. This is the science of craving. When you pull back, their brain starts to anticipate hearing from you. That anticipation, the what if, triggers dopamine release, a chemical associated with pleasure and motivation. They're not just missing you, their brain is chemically craving the hit of your attention. If you text someone 20 times a day and suddenly stop, they'll notice the silence far more intensely than they ever noticed your messages. That emotional gap is where craving grows, and craving is the engine of attraction. Chapter 5. Boundaries equal sign value. One of the biggest mistakes people make in relationships is believing that unconditional tolerance equals unconditional love. But in reality, a lack of boundaries kills attraction. Boundaries, which include the ultimate boundary of being willing to leave, are how you communicate self-respect. And self-respect is universally attractive. Boundaries are not walls you build to keep people out. They are gates. They show people where the entrance is and the respectful way to walk through it. When you calmly demonstrate that bad behavior, neglect, or disrespect has consequences, you are not being difficult. You are training the other person's brain to value you more. For example, instead of complaining about them always being late, you can say, "I really value our time together, but my time is important to me, so I can only wait for 15 minutes. This isn't a threat. It's a clear, respectful boundary that teaches them how to treat you. Now, keeping you is not guaranteed, it is earned. Chapter 6. Make them fear losing you. If you've been chasing someone who gives you little in return, the dynamic is unbalanced. They hold all the power because you fear losing them, but they have absolutely no fear of losing you. The solution is to reverse that dynamic. But this isn't about playing games, it's about genuinely becoming a person who is valuable and whose absence would be felt. Stop overgiving. Reclaim your time, your attention, and your emotional energy. Invest that energy back into yourself, your career, your health, your friendships, your passions. Create a life that you love, independent of them. When you do this, distance and mystery are created naturally. When the fear of losing this new, vibrant, self-sufficient version of you enters their mind, their behavior has no choice but to change. A person constantly begging for attention is easy to ignore. But a person who becomes distant, focused on their own life, and less available suddenly becomes a prize to be won. The shift happens not because you said anything, but because the possibility of loss is now undeniably real. Use this power responsibly. There's a fine line between using loss aversion strategically for a healthier dynamic and using it to manipulate someone emotionally. This isn't about playing cruel games to make someone anxious. It's about respecting yourself enough to walk away from disrespect and letting that natural consequence teach others how to value you. The goal is never to punish or control. It's to recalibrate the relationship so it's built on mutual value and respect, not one-sided fear and dependency. The key is your intent. Healthy use sounds like, "I care about you deeply, but I won't stay in a relationship where my needs are consistently ignored." The focus is on your own well-being. Toxic use sounds like, "If you don't do what I want, I'm leaving." The focus is on controlling their behavior. One is an act of self-respect, the other is an act of coercion. Ultimately, this is a tool to fix an imbalance. If you find yourself having to use it constantly, it may be a sign that the relationship itself is fundamentally broken. Attraction isn't just built on affection, it's built on respect, and respect is built on perceived value. And nothing increases perceived value more powerfully than the risk of losing it. The hard truth is, love alone isn't always enough to make someone stay. But the fear of losing you can make them cherish you, fight for you, and prioritize you in ways they never did before. Your value isn't determined by someone else's inability to see it. It's revealed by your willingness to walk away from anyone who doesn't. So stop trying to prove your worth by giving more. Instead, become someone whose absence would be a significant loss. Because the moment they realize you're not afraid to lose them is the precise moment they become terrified to lose you. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who might benefit, and don't forget to subscribe to Dark Love Psychology for more insights to help you build stronger, healthier connections. Thanks for watching until the end. See you in the next video.